Welcome to the JCPod, partner with Stay On Sports. I'm your host, Jane Chandler Parnell, and man, it's crazy. Football tonight. We got the Hall of Fame game tonight that I won't lie to you. Probably won't watch other than the kickoff. I'm very interested in how this new kickoff rule will work out, so I might have to look at that. But other than that, man, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Probably won't be watching much of this Hall of Fame game. If anything, maybe have the score notifications on. If I get a score or something, I'll pop onto it on my phone and then watch the kickoff. So I'm very intrigued how this kickoff rule is going to work. That'll be my one thing I'm very excited about watching in the preseason. Because, yeah, past that, I mean, tonight, shit, Caleb Williams isn't playing, CJ Stroud isn't playing. I think we have Tyson Bagent is going to be playing at least, I think it's a whole half, I've read. He's at least going to be playing the first half. I don't even know who's going to be playing for the Texans. I think Case Keenum might play a quarter. I doubt he plays a whole half. Yeah, I really do not know who. I can't think of who they said they were going to start. But yeah, that's pretty much tonight. We got the Hall of Fame game tonight. Past that, I mean, yeah, the meet we got. You can see it up there. 23 days till college football officially starts, and then we got 35 days. 5 weeks from today, it's crazy. 5 weeks from today, we officially have the start of the NFL season with Ravens Chiefs. Really cannot wait. With that being said, though, today it's going to be really simple. We're just going to go over the NFL news I didn't cover in the last episode, including Jordan Love's deal that I literally talked about at the end. Like, oh, yeah, let's talk about that. And then just never got back to it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. There's a lot of other people who have been signing deals, so we got a few deals to talk about there. But, yep, we're pretty much just going to go over NFL news, cover everything I didn't cover in the last episode. And then next week we're going right back to the breakdowns. And also on today's episode, by the way, I will end it with some games I'm excited for in Week 1 for both the NFL and Week 0/Week 1, whatever you want to call it, for college football, because I'm not fully 100% sure in this whole Week 0 thing, but we're figuring it out. But anyway, like I said, we're going to talk about the Jordan Love deal to start off the NFL news. Jordan Love, highest paid quarterback in NFL history, inked his extension. He's back at practice. 4 years, $220 million. Massive deal. $155 million in signing bonus. I mean, obviously, ties to Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence of Jacksonville's highest paid quarterbacks. I mean, obviously, it's very clear that Green Bay feels like they have their guys. They're paying him this much money. And tying him down, getting him officially done, that means they can focus assets and other stuff elsewhere, especially if the NFL keeps going on the rise like it seems to be doing. Money-wise, they can focus assets somewhere else, but 25 years old, now he signed through 2028. It seems like the Packers, if they do what they did last year, they were really good. They'll be really good again this season. I'm looking for them to be good. I would not be shocked if they have another good season. They looked really promising last year. And tell you what, Jordan Love had some shaky moments last year, but honestly, towards the end of the season, I was very impressed with him. I remember there was a few games at the beginning of the season, especially that game he lost. I can't remember if they lost the Saints or beat the Saints. Pretty sure they stormed back to beat the Saints. And I'm like, holy hell, I can't believe he won that game. Jordan Love has been so bad. I don't get this, blah, blah. And then a few weeks after that, he played better and better and better and better. And then the Packers almost had a chance at Super Bowl. So, I mean, I think it's a really good deal. Especially, I mean, quarterbacks getting paid. It's a good deal. It's just weird circumstances because, I mean, he's only played for 1 year, but he's been behind Aaron Rodgers for, like 2 or 3 seasons at this point. So I think they have a really good idea on him. And I mean, shit. You can see some of the mannerisms between Aaron Rodgers that Aaron Rodgers got from Brett Favre and vice versa. You can see some of those mannerisms in him. So, yeah, very excited to see what he does because, shit, not only are the Packers, but shit, every team in the NFC North is going to be potentially really good. So there's going to be some. Yeah, let's try that again. Those are going to be some fun battles to have in the NFC North. Especially, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what to expect from Jordan Love this year. I forget what their win total is. But I expect them to be pretty good. I just don't know, like, stat-wise. I don't know if he's going to get to 4,000 passing yards. I can see him being about, like, 3,200, 3,500. If you get to that point, but I don't know if they're going to want to run the ball or whatnot. More than, now that they have Josh Jacobs, I think they're going to want to run the ball a decent amount. But we'll just have to see. This is some scary news. Herbert got a foot injury. He's expected to be ready for Week 1, but this basically just came out recently. It was reported by Ian Rappaport and some other people that apparently Justin Herbert is dealing an injury to the plantar fasciitis. area, which I'm assuming is plantar fasciitis. I'm assuming that's what he has. Don't quote me on that. I just know he's dealing with injury in the area. And apparently he'll be in a walking boot for about 2 weeks, and then after that they expect him to be ready for week 1. But, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think they were going to play him in the preseason, but they damn sure won't now. It just sucks for them to get off to a rough start. I mean, this is probably not the worst news. Hopefully it's just a small injury. Just the reason this could be big is because this could hopefully won't be something lingering that, we see throughout the season, just because, with lower body injuries and everything, they can catch up to you quick, especially because, I assume they aren't going to rush him back, but it's not going to be something where they're going to be taking their time to get him back, because obviously they don't want him to get hurt, and they aren't going to rush him back if he ends up getting injured, but they're kind of on this is kind of a good year for them to get going, especially with Harbaugh being in the first year. So, that's the plantar fasciitis is an area basically in the back of the heel. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. Hopefully it's not something he deals with all season, but it's something they're definitely going to keep an eye on. Man, it's just a tough start for the Chargers already down the quarterback, but thankfully, I guess the good news about this is it happened in the preseason. It didn't happen during the season when it could have been real bad. Oh, man, I won't lie to you, this is not NFL news. It's a little bit of college football. I just got sidetracked by reading something. Ra Thomas, he just got dismissed from Georgia. I recommend, if you're very curious about looking it up. I just don't want to go into super detail about this, but man, tough situation. He's got dismissed after cruelty to children and a battery arrest, and this was his second time having this incident. And I forget where he was before Georgia, but I think he had this incident before Georgia and was supposed to get it cleaned up when he came to Georgia, but obviously, yeah, that didn't happen. So hopefully he can get the help he needs, because he's a very talented kid that, now just has a lot of demons following him. Deontay Foreman suffered a head injury during practice, and he was airlifted to a hospital. This was really scary to read about. And now they literally just changed the title as we speak to Browns. Deontay Foreman is going to be released from the hospital after a neck injury, which is really, really good. But apparently he's immobilized on the field Thursday. He was flown by helicopter to the Browns from the training facility in Virginia to a hospital nearby. And then, just really, really scary, man. It doesn't sound like they know. Apparently took a direct blow to the head that resulted in neck pain, so that's really, really scary. But the fact he's getting released, sounds like he hopefully will be okay. Yeah, just hopefully he's okay, man. That's really scary. Don't see anything super specific that says, what it was. If it was just a stinger, if it was just something weird. But yeah, direct hit to the head, it sounds like. And then, that's scary, man. Apparently, Judon to practice the Patriots after meeting with Mayo, so it's a good, healthy meeting that Judon came out and said, which is good, because they need to keep that guy around. Their defense, especially with it looking like it's going to be a tough year, they can use every great player they can get. Apparently, Tariq Cohen's going to retire after attempting a comeback. The surprising move Thursday came 2 days after the 29-year-old told reporters he felt healthy and was looking forward to playing after not being in the regular season since 2020. I don't think he came out and really said. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he hasn't come out and really said anything since. It sounded like he was really, really excited to play. That's just weird. They didn't really say. It hasn't come out yet why he said that he didn't, but man, hopefully he's okay. I don't know if it's something with the guaranteed money, maybe. I don't know if it's something because I believe he has a year left on his deal, so I don't know if it's one of those things where he still has guaranteed money. He wanted a new deal, and they didn't give him a new deal, so he's just done. I don't know if he just was tired of football at that point. He's like, actually, never mind, I'm good with where I'm at. I don't know if maybe the knee was hurt. I have no idea, but it's just really, really wild because he just came back, and then Tuesday he was talking about how excited he was to play with the Jets and how excited he was to come back to football, and then, 2 days later. Apparently camp. Shit, the Jets camp must be pretty hard because, he came back for 2 days and was like, I'm good, boy. Tristan Wirfs signed a 5-year, $140 million deal. Extension. So shout out to Tampa Bay. They kept him and they kept, they're paying everybody down there in Tampa Bay, keeping a lot of the guys around. $28.1 average annual salary, narrowly edges out Penei Sewell. So that's the biggest deal in NFL history by, I think, 100,000. That's hilarious. Shout out to the Bucs for being able to get that done. 25-year-old has been. He's 25 years old. I don't know why I read it like that. 25 years old, 13th overall, 2020. That was his draft pick, and then, yeah. He's made the switch to. I forgot that he came out as a right tackle and he moved to left tackle. But yeah, been a Pro Bowler 3 consecutive years, first team All Pro and second team All Pro, and 3 consecutive years as well. So he's one of the best. He's played 100% of all the offensive snaps in every game of the career. He's just missed 4 games in his whole career. And then, like I said, Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield, Mike Evans all signed lucrative deals to stay in Tampa Bay. I mean, shit, this guy's one of the best players on the offensive line, one of the best players, offensive linemen in general, in football. So the fact they signed him to one of the biggest deals is not surprising. And yeah, obviously the Bucs like this little core they got because they kept Baker Mayfield, they kept Mike Evans. Obviously they're going to keep Wirfs because he's offensive lineman like this. In the great words of Mike Lombardi, you just don't find them walking on the streets. So, not shocking at all. They want to keep this guy around, especially when he's only 25 years old and he's a damn stud. But yeah, he's making a shit ton of money now. And I mean, the Bucs probably look to be somewhat decent again this year. I can't remember the schedule off the top of my head, but I mean, they're bringing back everybody. I assume it's between them and the Falcons, I assume, for the division off the top of my head, because I don't think the Panthers are really going to do much. I think the Saints are going to be third. And that's going to be basically come down to who wins the games between the Falcons and the Bucs. But shout out to them for real for signing back Tristan Wirfs, because, yeah, massive deal to get this done and get out of the way. And now Trent Williams is definitely looking over like, hey, we need to have the 49ers and call them up, have a conversation real quick. Apparently, Jonah Jackson is going to miss 6 weeks after sustaining a bruised scapula. Reading a little bit more into this, sorry. 27-year-old, biggest signing. He signed a 3-year, $51 million contract. He played the first 4 seasons in Detroit before coming over. So losing him for the first 6 games is going to be tough. Rough loss for them because I'm assuming the Rams expect to be pretty good on offense. So, hopefully they can keep the O-line healthy because, yeah, that Matt Stafford needs a healthy O-line because he was banged up a little bit last year too. And not only that, he's older, so they need to keep him as healthy as they can. DJ Moore wants Allen Robinson, not Allen Robinson, Jesus. Keenan Allen. I'd talk about a flashback for the Bears. Wrong Allen. DJ Moore wants Keenan Allen extended. We'll talk about the DJ Moore deal here in a minute. Keenan Allen is in the final year of his $80 million deal. That was 4 years, $80 million extension from when he was with the Chargers. I assume they're going to re-sign him. I assume they want to keep this nucleus and offense together. I mean, DJ Moore just signed a 4-year, $110 million deal, $82.6 million guaranteed. He looks to be probably, I assume, the number 1 on the outside. And you got Keenan Allen in the slot, who looks to be the number 1/number 2 along with them. And then, as well as that, Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze probably looks to be their number 2 on the outside, but number 3 behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen when it comes to like target receptions, all that this year. But I assume they're going to re-sign Keenan Allen. I just don't know how many years it will be for because I don't know how many years Keenan Allen has left. I would assume about 4 to 5-ish years. The way he played, he played pretty well last year, but he has no burners anymore, obviously. But he's still going to be good for the possession catches and the first down catches. I mean, shit, last year he was the first down machine. Just hanging out around the sticks. He's still able to do that. He only played in 13 games last year, had 108 catches on 150 targets, 1,243 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He absolutely went off. He just was hurt with the hammy for a long time, so it really sucked. So as long as he can stay healthy, I would assume they want to re-sign him because Keenan Allen could probably be a really, really good weapon for Caleb Williams. Shit. They probably want to keep the Bears offense together for a little bit. And with Caleb Williams on his rookie deal, I assume they have the money to pay Keenan Allen because they just paid DJ Moore. Roma Dunze isn't going to need too much money. I assume by the time we start next season, I will not be shocked if we see Keenan Allen sign a 3-year deal for close to probably what they got a 4-year, 110. He's probably gonna sign like a 3-year deal close to like 70, 75 million, kind of like what Michael Pittman signed with the Colts. Apparently, the Falcons owner came out and said Cousins' age was a significant factor in drafting Penix. Why would you sign him to a deal then? That's my first I don't. Why would you even sign him then if your big issues in age? But at the same time, I guess it is like a business process. We're going to think about the future. It's just weird because you sign one of the oldest quarterbacks in the draft. I just don't get the biggest thing. If he's going to say that Kirk Cousins is an age, then why do you sign Michael Penix, who was an older guy himself? Because I mean, shit, we probably don't see Michael Penix for another 3 years, I assume. Kirk will be 36 at the start of this season, so by then he would be 39. Michael Penix, I believe, is about 24, 25, so by then he'd be 27, 28. When most quarterbacks are starting now like 23, 24 with their age. So it's really weird to sit. I mean, it's kind of. Don't get me wrong, they needed a quarterback anyway because Desmond Ridder last year was just not it for them at all. And for them, I'm talking about the Falcons. But it's just weird. It's because he drafted. I mean, I get Michael Penix, like I said, is young, but the fact that he's like, oh, Kirk Cousins is a little bit older, so we want to draft a younger quarterback, yet you draft the young quarterback. That's a little weird, but like I said, Kirk Cousins, I'm assuming, is going to do really well for them next year. And I think, like I said, they're it's between them pretty much and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for who's going to be the head of the division. Caleb Williams, we talked about a little bit, won't play in the Hall of Fame game. That's not too shocking. Eberflus said doesn't see a need for starters to play an extra preseason game, considering the team has 3 other games plus a practice session against Cincinnati. I'm curious to see how much they will play Caleb Williams in the preseason. I assume at least like 2 to 3 quarters, I would say, but I'm not 100% sure anymore because they're just really weird about it. Steelers, Roman Wilson, he's week to week now with an ankle injury, which really, really sucks for him. Going to get his career off to a slow start. Apparently, he was sustained on a jet sweep, and he exited practice via cart, and this happened on Tuesday. I apologize for that. I was trying to watch the video without sound on. They just carted him off, and, like I said, injured on the jet sweep. He was their 3rd-round pick, looked to be... I was assuming it was George Pickens, Van Jefferson, and then it was basically him and Calvin Austin kind of fighting for that 3rd spot. But now it's going to look like it's going to be Calvin Austin backed up by Scotty Miller and Quez Watkins at least until he gets back. Ever since they lost Deontay Johnson, they're going to try to fill that little bit of a void. Just sucks for him, man. Start off his career with an injury because he looked to be promising. He's really good at Michigan, so I expect he's going to be really good again there. But yeah, like I said, that just sucks, and it really sucks. Raiders are waiting for Minshew or O'Connell to become the guy amid QB battle. That can either be really good or really bad, and right away I read that, it's like, oh, sorry about that. Buddy asked me something for his bachelor party real quick, so I had to answer that. But, like I said, the fact that they're waiting for somebody to win it out kind of is concerning and kind of not. I mean, Gardner Minshew had his moments last year where he did look pretty good, so, I mean, there's a compliment to them. But also, at the same time, they were playing against a really good defense. I guess that is very true. But still, like I said, scary to read that. To be honest, they're competing against a really good defense. That's what AP said. That's why I basically read that word for word because it's like, yeah, that is true. I forgot that the Raiders are going to be a really good defense. So it's not going to be pretty at times, Coach Pierce said. And he also came out right now, we need somebody just to say, AP, I'm the guy. I'm the quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. That's what it is. Until we get to that point, we're just going to keep letting them battle, and there's nothing wrong with it because when we see competition at quarterback, it picks everybody else up. But that's also true, and at the same time, I mean, I kind of trust Antonio Pierce. He showed me some things last year that makes me, I'll at least give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit. So it's be like, okay, we'll see how this plays out. It's just a weird thing it just sucks because they started O'Connell last year. If you start with O'Connell and then you go to Minshew, O'Connell's probably done as the Raiders quarterback. If you start with Minshew, there's a chance you can go back to O'Connell at least, but because he started last year, it might just be a little bit of a weird situation. It just sucks. I think they would obviously want somebody else as their quarterback, but I'm honestly shocked this wasn't the team that drafted a quarterback, to be honest. This is the team that, I mean, I know they took Brock Bowers. They took the best available on the board, but I mean, man, this could have been a team that maybe they just get a young guy just to, like, develop this year and then I don't know. I would not be shocked if this team, the Raiders are going to end up, I'm assuming, drafting a quarterback here within the next few seasons. Because, I mean, their defense is really good and they need to go now. I mean, Christian Wilkins, Max Crosby, I mean, they got some dudes on that defense. They need to go. O'Connell didn't do bad last year. He had 12 touchdowns against 7 interceptions. I mean, in camp, both quarterbacks have had ups and downs. Apparently, neither looked good on Tuesday, with both of them tossing multiple off-target throws under pressure, which is Gardner Minshew's biggest thing is when he gets pressured, it gets really, really, really bad. Against Jacksonville last year, I think it was in Jacksonville, I threw, 4 interceptions, and most of them came because of pressure, especially in the middle at his face. Like, there's times where Gardner Minshew can handle some pressure, and it's not too bad, but I would say 65% of the time, it is not good if there's pressure, especially in his face. I know that's for most quarterbacks, but for Gardner Minshew, it's especially as well. So, yeah, I just don't, anything's better than I think than Jimmy Garoppolo and Brian Hoyer last year, so I think they will have some improvement at the quarterback position. It's just, man. I don't know. Gardner Minshew got the Colts about to 8-ish, 9-ish wins, so I'm assuming I'm not going to say that's a ceiling, but ceiling isn't much higher than that, to be honest. And then the last thing we'll talk about today is NFL moving. Oh, I guess before we talk about the fun game for Week 1 to end it, NFL is moving closer to replacing the chain gang. Apparently, NFL executive Gary Brantley told the Associated Press the league will test Sony's Hawkeye technology during some of its NFL preseason games. Most likely see it tonight, I would assume. It says, but also goes on to say the system wouldn't be ready for full implement until next season, though it could happen sooner. So I'm assuming it's a situation where if they do like it, maybe use it for playoffs if it's fully ready and they like it. But we'll most likely see this next season. I mean, we already saw the kickoff change. This is another change that's coming to the game. Not too shocking. I'll admit, I kind of get why they're getting rid of the chain gang. I don't think they need the actual chain part of it. I still think that, yes, you should keep the things that are 10 yards distance apart. And I know the chain's supposed to keep it there to keep it the actual 10. But with technology now, I think we can update technology a little bit to where we don't need the actual chain on the ground because that gets tangled up. That gets in people's way and everything. But I like the idea of actually keeping, running them out. Maybe running them out in the field too. I could argue either way. Like, we should keep that in because it looks right with football. I could also argue that we don't need that in the game. That's kind of like a man point. But I think at least for the sidelines, I remember liking it as a player, being able to look over real quick and be like, all right, boom, boom, boom. You got the 3 things you look for. You got the down marker. It's like, all right, they're 3 yards away. Look over real quick. Especially because I play defensive end. And for the most part, I guess it really didn't matter. I went right hand down a decent amount. I went right hand down specifically too, more towards the end. I was only right hand down, but we bounced around with our defensive line all the time anyway, so it didn't really matter. But there's times where literally, since I'm on defensive end, I'm one of the first people next to the sideline. It's really nice to sometimes just be like, all right, cool. I know where we're at. Exactly. Because playing in the NAI, don't get me wrong, we had nicer stuff than some places, but we didn't have no big jumbo board that told us, hey, this is the down distance, all that. Our board was fine, but it's man, it's so much better just the natural feel look over at the sidelines that way. So, like I said, I could see why they'd want to get rid of them. At the same time, it's part of the game. Yeah. We're in the installation phase for all of our stadiums, really getting them calibrated and up to date. Brantley would go on to say, we're just really getting to a place where the system is as accurate as possible and really calibrating across our multiple stadiums. We have multiple stadiums with multiple dimensions inside of those stadiums with different age. So we're really just going through the installation of putting the infrastructure and making sure these cameras are installed. So obviously, like I said, he said different buildings, different places. So after we do all this run in a little bit, I will not be shocked if we see this relatively soon. Because it's only, like I said, the chain game, especially with the part. I think there was recently, within this year or last year, there was a game where it got tangled up and they actually had to delay it a little bit because they had to figure out how to untie these chains and everything. So yeah, like I said, not going to be shocked if it gets moved on from soon, but I kind of hope they keep them because there's the visualization part of it. At least on the sideline, excuse me, by the way. I hope they at least keep them on the sideline. If they get rid of the chain part, I understand that, but I hope they at least keep the stuff on the sideline, and I feel like that'd be a little bit at least understanding compromise. Okay, so going in real quick, we're going to go into, just to end it real quick, we're going to talk about my games I'm most excited for Week 1 of NFL and Week 1 for college football. We'll start with NFL first because we talked heavy NFL and we'll end it with some college football fun. Yeah, we'll do NFL first. I'm excited for the first Thursday night game. Obviously, first game of the season, going to be awesome. Chiefs-Ravens. Looks to be probably potentially a competitive game as well. 3-point spread. We'll see how much changes with injuries and everything, obviously. Packers-Eagles has the potential to be good. That's the next. I'm excited for that game as well. Obviously, first 2 games of the year, 2 for 2. Excited to see the Friday, just a Friday football game in Brazil. Very curious to see how that's going to be. New experience, especially for a Friday game. That's just going to be weird to go Thursday night Thursday night NFL football, Friday night NFL football, Saturday college football, Sunday NFL football's first week. It's also my birthday weekend, so that Saturday to Sunday is going to be pretty awesome to have college football. Maybe celebrate birthday with friends a little bit. Then have some NFL football very next day and just watch that all day with Scott Hansen. It's going to be a great time. But yeah, there's that. Personally, for me, I'm excited for Colts-Texans week 1. I like the fact that the Colts are going to get both their Texans games out of the way early this season. They play the Colts week 1, and then they play them week 8, which is really awesome compared to last season. So, because potentially how I see this division race going is it comes down to the Colts and Texans. So it's nice that both 2 games will be out of the way early. So you're like, all right, they're 1-1 or they're 2-0, vice versa. So that way, as they keep going, and then towards the end of the season when they have to play not each other but their other division foes, you'll get an idea of like, all right, we need this team to win, blah blah blah. And instead of having to face each other like they did last year for division on the line, now they can not have to play each other pretty much. And hopefully it comes down to one team just needs to win and then they're in. Versus, hey, both teams needs to win and guess what? You're playing each other. And then Tyler Goodson drops the ball and you have to be heartbroken. I believe the Colts, I think if I'm mistaken, they play the Jags. Which could also be scary because that also could be for the division. We'll just have to see. But I like the fact, like I said, they're getting the Texans games both out of the way early in the season before the Texans can fully figure themselves out for the season. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Chargers-Raiders might not be a bad matchup from a coaching standpoint. I'm curious to see how Harbaugh's first game back in the NFL goes. Seahawks-Broncos could be intriguing because of we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. If it's Bo Nix, that could be a fun start versus Seattle's decent defense. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I would consider that one. Monday night, Jets versus 49ers. That's going to be pretty interesting. Right back to Aaron Rodgers on Monday night. Hopefully, we get to see more than 4 plays this season. Rams-Lions. That's going to be a really good one for Sunday night. Dallas Cowboys and Cleveland Browns. That could be a good game. Has a chance to be. But yeah, I would say top 3, Chiefs-Ravens, Jets-49ers, and then personally for me, Colts-Texans just to start off because I'm really excited to see how the Colts start off their division play. And if they they can beat the Texans week 1, be a great start to the season, boy. But now moving on to college football real quick. Looking at the scores for week 1. So I'm going to do week 1 and week 2 because technically, I'm not going to lie to you, the week 0 slate this year is kind of butt cheeks. It's like Florida State, Georgia Tech. I'm not really excited for that, but I'll be intrigued to at least watch that because it's going to be the first game of the year. SMU is favored by 25 points against Nevada, and then Montana State, New Mexico. Those are all first 3 games. I'm all right. Like nothing too crazy excites me there. And then you look back on the following week. So this is the upcoming week. Oh, so that's how they do it actually. Okay, never mind. I can just do it. So week 1, so they have week 0 and week 1. So I just read you the week 0 slate. Week 0 slate is going to be Florida State versus Georgia Tech at 12, Montana State versus New Mexico at 4, SMU versus Nevada at 8, and then at midnight you got Hawaii versus Delaware State. It's not the strongest state. I would assume Georgia Tech versus Florida State is probably going to the game. I'm excited for. I'm probably going to bet Georgia Tech a little bit. Just for the simple fact that they're dogs. It's in Ireland, so there's no really home field. So I might just take Georgia Tech to maybe sprinkle a little dog, get the season started off right. Past that, though, in the following week when a lot more of the other teams play, Jacksonville State versus Coastal Carolina. I'm going to be interested in that just because Jacksonville State were my boys last year. Won me a good amount of money on the run they went on. Minnesota, North Carolina has a chance to be a good game to start out the year. That's actually could be pretty fascinating. North Dakota State versus Colorado, that's going to be a fun matchup because, and it's not the North Dakota State of years past where they're just an absolute wagon of the FCS, but they're still going to be a really good team, so that isn't that's no easy game for Colorado. And these are all on Thursday, too. God damn, we got some beautiful games for Thursday. Man, yeah, that's going to be awesome. For sure going to have to watch that Colorado-North Dakota State game. And then Friday, 42.5 point favorites. Yeah, that's college week 1. Michigan State, Florida Atlantic could be interesting just for the new coaching aspect when it comes to Michigan State. TCU Stanford's probably the most interesting game of that day. Saturday, Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. That's going to be a really, really good game to kick off the season. Especially if Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard could have a very, very early Heisman candidate moment and have a really strong game to start the season. Clemson, Georgia. That's going to be a really good game potentially. Penn State, West Virginia. I'm going to be interested in that to start off the year. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. We got some good games this year for week 1. Syracuse, Ohio. Maybe in a college football nutty. I'm kind of interested in that. Miami, Ohio versus Northwestern. Yet again, like I said, being a nutty, kind of interested in that. The U versus Florida. That's going to be a really 3:30. That's going to be a game I'm for sure going to have to get my eyes on. Starting off early. Damn. Yeah, I'm excited, man. 23 days away from this. Can't come any sooner. Man. I just can't wait, honestly. I cannot wait, boy. That's probably going to do it for today. Like I said, LSU, USC, Sunday, Boston College, Florida State, Monday the following day. To finish off the week 1. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Like I said, just some quick NFL news to go over, a little bit of fun. Had fun talking a little bit of games I'm excited for and looking forward to in 23 and 37 days, respectively. Man, it's seriously crazy how close it is. But yep, like I said, going back into next week, we're going to go back to finish our breakdown. So we'll have NFC North, South, East, West, NFC North, South, East, West. And the next week, NFC North, South, East, West, NFC North, South, East, West. Man, that's almost a tongue twister. I don't know why. We'll have that going for the next 2 weeks. Like I said, might be off because of the surgery. Don't know yet. If I'm not off, we'll talk a little bit of futures, get prepped for the season, talk a little bit of stuff. Probably the last 2 weeks are honestly probably just going to be futures. Talk futures in the NFL, futures in college football, predictions for the season, just stuff like that. Hella stuff talking about getting ready for the season. Hopefully I have my boy Rowan on just one time, talk a little bit of WNBA as well in there, because I believe he's back from vacation. Maybe even have him twice, talk a little bit MLB as well. We'll figure it out, but just know heavy football for sure upcoming with futures. We got breakdown episodes for the next 4. Next 4 episodes, breakdown pretty much. English, duh. We got that going. Then after that will be hella locks, hella futures, quote unquote locked, hella futures, hella predictions, hella stuff like that with maybe, just maybe, a dash of WNBA and MLB. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for support. Really do appreciate it. Check down Stare Down Sports if you're interested in articles. Personally, for me, I'm going to get back heavy on writing on that. Shout out my boy Rowan. Been holding it down for about a week and a half while I've decided just to be kind of lazy and not write, getting stuff ready. But your boy's going to start writing on there a little bit more. Feel free to check out that page. That will have all my picks and everything that I do on here as well when we get to that point of the season. But, hey, almost there, man.